You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Greetings and welcome to episode 251 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday, July 14th, 2019.
X-Ray Delta 1, this is Mission Control. Roger, you're 1930.
Just what do you think you're doing, Dave?
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
All right, I'll take a shot at it. What the hell, it works on Star Trek.
There's a fleet of Star Destroyers coming out of hyperspace in Sector 4.
Ship, abandoned ship. All personnel proceed to escape pod. Close down the circuit.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
I am the law.
Put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
And now we take a quantum leap forward.
Hello, it's your ever-present hosts, Sean and
Josh.
How are y'all out there in podcast land? Hope you're all doing wonderful. Today is July 14th as this episode comes out. And you all know what July 14th is. You do, don't you, Josh? You know what July 14th is.
The day after Patrick Stewart's birthday?
True. Yes, because we are recording on Patrick Stewart's birthday. Happy 79th birthday, Patrick Stewart. This episode comes out on the 14th, which is Con Air Day.
Oh, yes. Your Con Air Day.
Yes.
My daddy is coming home on July 14th. My birthday is July 14th. I'm going to see my daddy for the first time ever on July 14th.
It's tradition. You have to watch Con Air every July 14th because that is the day the movie takes place.
I think that's just you, Sean.
It's probably just me.
Because, like, a lot of movies you don't watch when they take place.
This is true.
And some movies take place over the span of days.
Also true.
So it's like, how are you going to watch, like, Saving Private Ryan, which takes place over, like, I think a month? Longer if you take the D-Day invasion part into account. So, like, what are you going to do on that one? Just watch 10 minutes at a time? A date where each scene takes place?
It's not a bad idea. Sounds like a lot of work, but why not?
Yeah, but then you'd have to figure out what day each event took place.
That's too much work to watch a movie.
Well, that's
what
I'm saying.
But I know that Con Air takes place on July 14th because it says so in the movie several times. And it's one of my favorite movies of all time, even though it's ridiculous.
I'm glad you enjoy the movie.
I'm glad you're glad I enjoy the movie.
I enjoy the movie, but it's not that big of a movie to me.
Oh, it is for me. It's just one of those things. And I don't think we've ever actually had an episode come out on July 14th. So I just had to mention it because it's awesome. You know what's not awesome, Josh?
Lots of things.
This is true. Did you hear that Think Geek has closed down?
No, I hadn't, but that's good news.
Is it good news?
Yeah.
It was bought out by GameStop.
Yes, but that's quite some time ago.
Well, it took place last weekend.
Yeah.
I guess
but
officially.
The buyout happened quite some time ago.
Oh, must have, right?
Yeah.
Did you know about that?
We knew about that.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
They were already shipping directly to GameStop locations.
Oh, okay.
So, like, anything that competes with my wife's store is something that I kind of want to just go away.
Your wife's store?
Yeah.
What does she do?
She runs a comic book shop in here in town.
No.
Comics and collectibles.
No freaking kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yes, I know you had no idea.
I know we have not mentioned it for the last 4 years on every single episode of the podcast. What's the name of the store?
It's called Jump City. It's located at 38 Pine Street, North Timmins, Ontario, Canada, Earth.
Oh, nice.
You can find it in the basement of the 101 Mall, Unit 106. Just get off the glass elevator, turn left.
That's very specific.
What's an address? It's supposed to be specific.
I know. I'm a mailman. That's how I know. Addresses need to be specific. Because you can't just put the mail willy-nilly anywhere you want. Although sometimes I would just like to take the flyers and throw them in the middle of the street. And if anybody wants to come and get their flyers for that day or week, come along.
Recently I learned about the Japanese address system.
Did you?
Yes. So the oldest building on the block has the lowest number.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense, I suppose.
Yeah. Except that your address changes if somebody's building gets demolished.
Oh, so are there nothing in sequence?
Oh no, it's not sequential. It's the oldest building on the block has the lowest number.
Okay. That sounds complicated.
Mm-hmm. And their blocks are set up so that you can drive around the outside, and then there's side inner streets as well.
Okay.
Like alleys, which means number 1 can be over here, and then in the middle of the thing is number 2, then over on this corner is number 3, then over on that corner is number 4, then back to this corner for 5.
Okay. That's not good.
Yeah. And you just have to know.
Right. I guess if you're a mailman in Japan, then you know, because you've been raised in that setting.
Yeah, but each block is set up differently.
Yeah. Right. I wouldn't want to work there.
Yeah. You just have to know your route.
I guess that's true. I came up with a new name for our job this week, and everybody thought it was very amusing at work. I said, we're not mailmen or letter carriers, we are paper transfer technicians. Because all we do is take paper from one box to another box, put it in another box, put it in a bag, put it in a box. We're just moving paper around, that's all we do. Paper pushers.
Do you push it, though? Or do you often just carry it?
We carry it, yeah, or slide it across the counter to somebody, or, whatever. I wonder if the microphone is picking up your cat purring. He's a very happy cat.
He's a pretty loud purr.
He is. But yeah, so that's what's been going on there. You ever watch a movie?
Several times.
Okay. And then years go by, perhaps even decades, and you're like, I've never seen that movie again. I can't remember what it was called or who was in it. But you remember certain plot points from it, and you're like talking to people about it, and nobody's ever heard of the movie, and you don't think you'll ever see it again, but you just remember certain details.
Mm-hmm.
That happened to me this week. I watched a movie, I'm going to say 35 years ago when I was 7 or 8 years old. I might have been older or younger, but approximately 35 years ago. And all I remembered were 2 or 3 details from the movie. I remembered that it took place in a prison. There was a bunch of people walking around a pillar, and there was one scene where the guy was on his knees in the hallway. He ripped open the back of a book and gave some money to bribe a guard to get him out of there. That's all I remembered.
Okay.
So this week I'm watching Netflix and looking through the list of things, and Recently Added comes along, and there's this movie from 1978, and I read the description, and I'm like, I wonder if that's that movie that I've often thought about randomly over the years. It's a 2-hour movie, and so I start watching it, get into an hour and a half into it, and I'm like, I'm not sure. It's an okay movie, but I don't know if this is it. And then finally, in the last 20 minutes, all the scenes that I remembered were actually in the thing. And I had thought that the guys walking around the pillar were like grinding grain for something, but they were just walking. They were in the insane asylum, so they were just walking around the pillar to fill up their time.
Okay.
So the movie was called Midnight Express. It's from 1978. It's Billy Hayes is an American college student. He's caught smuggling drugs out of Turkey and thrown into prison. And it starred Brad Davis. And Brad Davis, surprisingly, looks a lot like Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt could have played this character in the 90s if they had remade the movie. So, not a sci-fi movie, but just one of those movies that I remembered from my childhood, randomly, and I never thought I'd see it again. And there it was, just recently added on Netflix.
Yeah, the same thing's happening with me and Katie. There's a movie we watched many, many, many years ago, and we keep quoting, like, a couple parts from it, but we don't remember the title.
Okay.
We don't remember when we watched it, so we can't even think back then. Mm-hmm. We know we didn't watch it with other people, so it's not like we can ask them what the title was.
Yeah.
So
give me a quote from it.
The one character turns to the other. They're both wearing dolphin costumes. She asks, "Why are we wearing dolphin costumes?" He turns back and says, "Because it makes me happy."
Oh. Not something I'm familiar with. But if any of our listeners know what this movie is, where characters are wearing dolphin costumes, they can email us so Josh can know what this movie is called.
Yeah, it's an anime. Would have had to come out sometime before 2002.
Okay, so an anime pre-2002, 2 characters wearing dolphin costumes, and it makes them happy. TheRustedRobot@gmail.com. Let us know, listeners, what the heck is this anime called? So that's just interesting things that happen. 35-year-old movie. I shouldn't have been watching it. It was very adult-oriented. Midnight Express, it was called, if I didn't say that already. And, it was not meant for a 7 or 8 year old.
Well, how old were you when you were watching it?
7 or 8 years old.
Right, and that means it came out...
It came out in 78, so...
Do the math for me here.
Well, I was born in 76. Came out 2 years later.
So it was a 5-year-old movie, it's fine.
It would have been... Somewhere in the early 80s, I would have seen it. I don't know if I was watching it with anybody, if I was being parentally guided or not, or I just happened to be watching this thing, but
How would you have been watching it? Was it on VHS or was it on TV?
It would have been on TV.
Wow, then all the worst parts have been
Yeah, because there
scrubbed.
was kissing and there was nakedness, like two guys were kissing in the shower, but it was hidden by steam, so you could kind of see it, but not really, because this is 1978, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, but that was probably even taken out of the TV version. I'm guessing, and wasn't too bad other than that, like too graphic at all.
Yeah, well, what was an R in the 70s is a PG-13 now.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it's all switched around, but
in some things, and then other things, it's like, wow, this would not make it past the boards today.
No, because the 80s were filled with sex scenes, and you hardly see that at all anymore.
Well, the 80s were filled with soft cutaway sex scenes.
Lots of boobs, though.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of boobs anymore.
Well, it depends on what you're watching.
Well, I guess that's true. The 80s were a different time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, why I was watching Midnight Express when I was under 10 years old, I don't know.
Do you remember the ski school movies?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched all of them when I was a kid.
Yeah, those were pretty raunchy, weren't they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was like 8. Watched all of those.
Yeah. I don't think we were guided parentally when we were kids.
Oh,
for
no,
some reason.
gods, no.
No, that doesn't seem like we were. But anyway, speaking of guidance and things that I've heard recently, have you heard about the Area 51 hullabaloo?
What's going on now?
Okay, it's all over Facebook. For the last week or so, there's a bunch of people who are gathering on September 20th to go and storm Area 51. They're organizing on Facebook to get answers from the government. They're all going to storm the place. At first it was 200,000 people, and then the next article I read was 500,000 people. Now 800,000 people are all going to go storm Area 51.
Well, hold.
Yeah.
You don't publish that because that gives them time to move everything that's incriminating out.
Right?
That's the kind of thing you got to do secretly and whispers in bars so that it doesn't get back to the government.
Right.
Because, like, you keep writing Area 51 or storm the gates, the algorithms that search the internet for that kind of thing are going to go, this open post thing that anybody can have access to that can be easily searched, we might want to look into this. Also, it's an active military base.
Right.
You can't storm an active military base. That's treason.
Right.
Also, machine guns.
Yeah, but that's what the articles were saying. Oh, you can't stop all of us. But then other articles were saying there was a meme going around that it's actually the government organizing the thing. Because what's the harm in killing 200,000 civilians? Control the population. And then there was another meme of a guy with a machine gun. Yeah, come on, storm my castle here. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So September 20th is when this is supposed to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No, because that's the day Rambo comes out and everybody's going to be in the theater to see the final Rambo film.
Probably not.
You don't think so?
No. And okay, it's real bad if Americans go and do it. Okay?
Yeah.
That's going to be bad for them. Anybody who goes there and isn't American, you are vanishing into the military prisons and never coming out again. Like, the Americans, they might, because it's a large mass, they might just all charge them with crimes and release them back out to the general public prison systems. But foreigners are just going to vanish into the military system.
Gone like the wind.
Yeah.
But it's all over the social media, and I'm like, okay, you're planning this 2 months in advance. That's ridiculous.
I can understand planning in advance.
Yeah.
You need to plan this stuff in advance
But
to organize.
Not so publicly.
That's the problem. Doing so publicly gives them time to get rid of any incriminating evidence.
Mm-hmm.
You want to storm a secret facility, you do it secretly.
Yeah.
Not publicly.
No.
You make a big hubbubaloo the day of.
We're doing it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we just did it.
Or, there's a big meeting, a big conference just outside of the area where Area 51 is. Lots of people show up, and the actual point of the thing is to go to raid, but you make them think that it's something else where they're not concerned. And then you'll have the news there for this giant gathering of 200,000 UFO enthusiasts or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And now they go and storm the facility.
Right. But not...
You don't plan it out like that.
No. See, they needed you to organize the thing.
I wouldn't have organized the thing, because two things. One, I'm not an American, so organizing storming of a military base would be bad for my long-term health.
Oh, yes, it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, even if I just organized it from here, drone strike! That's I wouldn't put it past the Americans to bomb Canadians in Canadian territory. They do it to every other country, so why not in Canada?
Because we're closer.
Doesn't matter.
I know.
They'll bomb anybody anywhere that isn't an American, and even if they are an American, they'll bomb them so long as they're somewhere else. So, the only place the Americans won't bomb you is if you're an American, then they'll just send people to shoot you in person.
More efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. What's the second thing that you wouldn't organize it because of?
Because it's a dumb idea.
Okay.
Like, you're not going to find anything. You're going to find that the Groom Lake facility, or Area 51, is a place where they're doing research on experimental aircraft.
Yes.
That's what the whole place is for.
Mm-hmm. Because the secret stuff is actually at Area 52. Uh-huh.
The whole point of the facility was the secret aircraft. They let the rumors of aliens get out there so that everybody goes, oh, I saw this weird aircraft. It was a triangle flying through the air. And everyone's like, oh, you're crazy. A few years later, B-2 bomber. So I was like, it's fine. We're not going to find aliens. You're not.
No.
Any alien race that can get here is not going to crash land where the Americans can just go, oh, I'm going to pick it up and understand this aircraft.
Yeah, that doesn't seem likely.
No.
You know what else is not so secret?
What's that?
The fact that the Rusted Robot podcast is on the ESO network.
It is.
Yes. And you know what the ESO network is all about? Geeky podcasts and self-promotion and playing other podcasts for other podcasts in the network and listening to them and stuff.
Okay. That's what we're about?
We're all about listening to podcasts.
I thought it was a statement of self-expression.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That too. Yes. So I could go ahead and play a promo for the Soulforge podcast right here that I also produce weekly, and it's on the ESO network. But what I'm going to do, because all of our listeners here on Rusted Robot know that Sean does the Soulforge podcast, all about life, living, in the universe. So
okay.
I'm going to go ahead and play a promo for another podcast, also here on the ESO network.
This week on Myopia Defend Your Childhood. Myopia Defend Your Childhood is a nostalgic movie podcast where we rewatch the movies of the 80s and 90s as we walk down memory lane. From action to animation, horror to sci-fi, we rewatch the movies my panelists and I grew up watching to see how our pasts hold up. Join us every other Thursday on the ESO network. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Letterboxd, Spotify, iTunes, and wherever podcasts are found. Thanks!
And whatever promo I put in there during the editing process, I'm sure it's fantastic.
I'm certain. I've listened to many of them now, so
yes,
I'm enjoying a lot of them.
That's good. You haven't picked a promo for a while, though.
I was waiting for all the new promos to come out.
I think most of them are out now.
So are they on the same links?
It should be the same link that I emailed you a while ago. So you can start again. I don't think they've all put them in yet, but I think most.
Right.
So there's our shameless plug for Soulforge and the ESO network.
All right. So what do we got next?
What next? We have, well, we were talking about, as we're recording this, it's July 13th, which is Patrick Stewart's 79th birthday.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see in your perusing of the internet the new teaser poster for the Picard series?
I did.
It's got Picard in his long coat, and he's got a dog, and he's looking at a field, and it's all very, what would you call it?
Dramatic?
Yes, it's very dramatic. The dog is looking off into the distance too, but his collar's on backwards, and on the collar is a Delta shield, and it says number 1 on it. Did you see that?
No, I did not. I did not notice that.
Yes, people have zoomed in on it because they're analyzing all aspects of the poster because there might be some hints of what's going on. Does that mean Riker's dead? Or is it just his dog is his number 1 companion? Who knows what it could be?
It could be just a joke that the people that put the poster together put together.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Or it could be, because that's what he calls his first in command after him.
That's right.
Well, he's no longer in command of the starship, so...
He's command of the Vineyards.
Yeah, so the dog's the second in command of the Vineyards. That's all.
That's what I'm thinking too. I don't think it means anything.
No, because it wasn't a nickname specifically for Riker.
Well, no, that's right.
It was his first in command that got that.
Exactly.
Because that little girl had it for a while.
Yes, on the episode Disaster.
Yeah.
Which premiered January 2nd, 1993.
That's impressive.
I just made that up.
Well, now that's not as impressive, Sean. You should have just ran with it and left me impressed that you remember the exact date that it premiered.
I'm not one of those guys.
No?
No.
Well, see, now we're going to pause this, and I'm going to look up what date Disaster premiered.
Okay.
Hey, this is Dr. Trek, Larry Nemechek, and you're listening to The Rusted Robot with Sean and Josh and the Rust.
And?
You were 3 years, 3 months off.
Oh, what day did Disaster premiere?
October 21st, 1991.
Oh.
You said January 94.
No, I said January 93.
Oh, I'm sorry. 2 years off.
See, not bad, not bad.
That's pretty bad, Sean.
Well, I don't remember. That's like almost 30 years ago.
Yeah, but Disaster was a mid-series episode. That was season 5.
Okay, I don't remember.
Yeah, because it was after the uniform change.
No, because...
First uniform change took place in season 1.
That was the first uniforms.
Yeah.
Season 3 had the new uniforms without the little red pipings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then they had the jacket, because he kept doing the jacket.
Oh, that was season 5, yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Right.
That was in that episode.
Yes, it was.
Because he stood up, he's like, well, and he adjusted his jacket, and they're going to have to get out.
Right.
So that's season 5, right? You knew because he had to do the jacket shuffle.
And I think...
Also, it's been well established that he doesn't like children at this point, and that's what the whole joke of the episode is. He doesn't like children, he's stuck in an elevator with the kids.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So that's a mid-series. Like, you didn't have to know it was exactly season 5, but you had to know it was mid-season.
If I would have remembered the jacket detail, I would have known.
And then 2 years later would have been the end of the series.
Correct.
So, like, you can't...
Because the end of the series was May of 94.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Come on, Sean.
Oh, sorry, Josh. Do I have to turn over my geek card?
No, your geek card can stay.
Because I knew the name of the episode.
Yeah, you can keep the geek card, but you got to hand over your Trek card.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain you do, Sean.
Oh.
Unless you can tell me the director. Who directed that episode?
Oh, Patrick Stewart directed it.
No.
I don't know.
No, he didn't.
Was it Jonathan Frakes? Was it LeVar Burton? Was it David Carson?
I don't know. It's not on this list, but...
Oh, I guess we'll never know who directed the episode Disaster.
Hey, podcast fans, Spotify is making it easy for you to stream this podcast and many others like it on your mobile device, desktop app, and smart speaker. Open the app on your mobile device or desktop, click on the browser channel, then click on the podcast section. You'll be able to stay thoroughly entertained during your commute to work, your drive home, and your downtime, thanks to Spotify.
So we just paused again, and you looked it up, and who is it?
Gabriel Beaumont.
Ah.
Okay, see, you didn't get your redeeming question, so you got to hand in your Trek card, Sean.
Crap.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see if you can get this back later.
Okay. Well, since we're speaking of Trek, did you hear that David Mack is going to consult on Star Trek Lower Decks?
Now, is that the cartoon about the crew, or is that the live action?
This is one of the cartoons.
Okay.
Longtime Star Trek tie-in novelist David Mack is no stranger to the current franchise television production team, as he was responsible for kicking off the Star Trek Discovery novel series with 2017's Desperate Hours, a tale which had the author staying in communication with the series' nascent writer's room to line up his USS Shenzhou story to the show's plans for its on-screen debut. Now, as the Star Trek television franchise continues to expand to new frontiers, Mack has announced that he's working with the next wave of Trek creatives as a consultant on the forthcoming animated series Lower Decks. And his tweet was, "Now it can be told, because my agent secured me permission from the production company, I am excited to be working as a consultant on 2 new Star Trek animated TV series, Lower Decks and another whose details remain classified, and that's all I can say about that." Not only is he working on Lower Decks, which is the one about the regular people on an unimportant starship, and there's the other cartoon which is going to be on Nickelodeon, which is the young kids who find a derelict starship, but there might be a third secret series.
Okay, so Star Trek does not do well with animated so far. They do not have a solid track record with the animation.
That was 1973 and 74.
I'll give you that. But they do not have a solid track record. How about we get another one out there and see if you guys can actually do it before you plan 3? Also, how young are they skewing this?
I don't know, but everything I've heard from other podcasts and stuff, have said that they're trying to hook them while they're young to get them into it, into the excitement of the series. So probably 5-6 years old.
That's too young, particularly Lower Decks.
Lower Decks is more for adults.
Yeah.
But the Nickelodeon one is for the younger set.
Yeah, but how young? That's the kick.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have that.
Because, like, have you watched the Clone Wars or Rebels?
No.
Okay. They're geared mostly to young, like 11, 12, 13-year-olds for Rebels, and like 12, 13, 14 for
Clone Wars?
Clone Wars.
Okay.
But they're really good because they don't dumb things down.
Okay.
If they try to go too young, adults can't go too young without dumbing things down because they assume all children are stupid.
Right, of course.
And then you dumb it down too much and you're not going to get the draw of Star Trek, which is smart sci-fi.
Right, that's true.
So they try to go too young, they'll dumb it down too much.
Yeah, and it doesn't say in this article here, but it does say, let's see, David Mack won't be creating the new stories. He'll just be offering advice and notes to help them be the Trekkiest they can be. He's not part of the series writing staff. I am not in the writer's room on either animated series. I am not providing writing services to either show. I am an outside consultant, and my services are strictly advisory in nature. I don't know what he'll be doing, really, but and he says, and about the other classified show he mentioned in his announcements, we're pretty certain he's referring to the still untitled animated series in development for Nickelodeon. Those creative leads, Dan and Kevin Hodgman, joined in the Twitter conversation and said, oh, they just had an animated gif of people shushing them. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe there's a third one, maybe there's not. There's different articles that say different things. But the exciting part is next Saturday, the Star Trek Universe panel at San Diego Comic-Con is going to be there. So we should go to San Diego Comic-Con for next weekend.
Okay.
And report live from the thing.
I can't get out of work, but you can go.
Yeah, I'll just hop on board. And
yeah, you only have to go for the Saturday, though.
Yeah.
You don't have to go for the whole weekend.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be easy to just get a one-day ticket.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I just have to fight with another...
It's not like it's that popular down there.
175, 185,000 people or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. It's all good. Anyway, that's the news. He's some kind of consultant on Lower Decks and maybe the Nickelodeon one or maybe a third series. We don't know.
I don't think they're going to do a third. I think we're going to get the two.
I know they are doing at least 2 animated short treks.
Yeah.
So that could be maybe something he's working on too. Who knows?
Well, a short run though, they generally won't need consultants because they already have a story they want to tell.
That's true. Yeah. So it's really hard to say what's happening, but
you need consultants for ongoing stories.
This is also
then you don't want to run out of ideas.
No, you don't. Definitely not. No. So I guess we'll have a lot of information to report next weekend or the weekend after, depending on when we record and when that information comes out and when it's released to the public and all that good stuff. Because we won't be at Hall H or whatever they call it.
No. You're going to fly down. You're going to get in.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well, as long as it's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
We will.
Yeah.
Because we always do.
Yeah.
Because we are the Rusted Robot Podcast.
Or what we can do is build ourselves a time machine in this intervening week.
Ooh.
Then you can get the news from the future, and then you can come back and report it.
I like that idea. I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
I'll get to it right away.
All right.
Okay. All right. So now is our celebrity death of the week time. There's 2 to report here, actually, which is kind of unusual. Normally we don't get that many, but here we go anyway. Eddie Jones, who played Pa Kent on Lois and Clark, the TV series, has passed away. You watched Lois and Clark?
Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so actor Eddie Jones, best known to Superman fans as Jonathan Kent on the TV series Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, passed away at the age of 82.
First non-white person to play Superman.
What?
Dean Cain?
Yeah.
He's half Japanese.
Okay, so the Interact Theater Company released the following statement on their Facebook page. Our treasured longtime member, dear friend, and trusted colleague Eddie Jones passed away today. Eddie was a true pillar of our community from its earliest days, an actor of keen wit and sharp instinct. When Eddie was on stage, you couldn't take your eyes off him. When he was off stage, his broad, bright smile would light up the room. Everyone who knew Eddie as a friend or had the good fortune to share the stage with him was touched by his gentle and generous nature. He will be deeply missed by all. ITC extends its deepest condolences to his dear devoted wife, Anita Kenzanidine-Jones, and extended family. So Dean Cain, who played the role of Clark Kent Superman, took to Twitter to post his own reaction upon learning the sad news, and he said, "My heart breaks with this loss. God bless you, Eddie. You were a wonderful human and terrific father. R.I.P., my friend." And that's pretty much all this article says, but I'm sure he did all kinds of other stuff.
He was a good character actor. He was in a lot of other shows.
I thought I'd seen him quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but he was one of the better Pa Kents out there.
I think so.
Yeah. He's one of the ones you felt for.
Yeah.
Him and the one from Smallville were the best ones so far.
Was that, what's his name from Dukes of Hazzard?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. John Snyder.
Yeah.
Yes. And our other celebrity death this week was Rip Torn. Rip Torn, who earned Oscar and Tony nominations as well as an Emmy Award and 2 Obies, died Tuesday in Lakeville, Connecticut. He was 88. Torn was equally at home in the comedy of the Men in Black film series or TV's The Larry Sanders Show, for which he won his Emmy, and in the drama of Sweet Bird of Youth or Anna Christie, to name 2 of the numerous classic works of theater in which he appeared. The actor was nominated for a Supporting Actor Oscar in 1984 for his work as a father who confronts tragedy in Martin Ritt's Cross Creek, one of many rural dramas in which he appeared during his career. He drew a Tony nomination in 1960 for his first performance on Broadway as the sadistic son of the town boss in Elia Kazan's original production of Tennessee Williams' Sweet Bird of Youth. Torn later replaced Paul Newman in the starring role of Chance Wayne. He, Newman, and Broadway co-star Geraldine Page, whom Torn married in 1963, recreated the roles in the 1962 film adaptation. Unlike many actors who take on the New York stage before making their way to film work, Torn headed to Hollywood after college, making his big screen debut in an uncredited role in Kazan's 1956 Baby Doll, and then appearing in the directors of Face in the Crowd. But Torn soon decided that he had put the cart before the horse and headed east. In New York, he studied performance with modern dance doyen Martha Graham, and at the Actors Studio with Lee Strasberg. Oh, he was also the cousin of Sissy Spacek. Torn's initial successes in New York came not on the stage, however, but in the prestigious anthology shows in the 50s, live television such as Omnibus, Playhouse 90, and the United States Steel Hour. The actor's film career began to gain steam with a supporting role as Gregory Peck's brother-in-law in the 1959 Korean War pick Pork Chop Hill, and the part of Judas in Nicholas Ray's 1961 epic King of Kings. So he did a lot of work in the early days, and of course we all know him from the Men in Black series, and he was 88. And I could keep reading this article because it's really long, because he's got a lot of credits, but I'm not going to, because our listeners can find all of that on our Facebook page.
It's sad when faces disappear.
Yeah.
It's seen for a long time.
Yes.
But good run. They both had a good run.
They did. They were both in their 80s, so that's not too bad at all. And speaking of celebrity deaths, I was talking to my brother Robin last night, and I was telling him about an old Twitter account that I had created, and I'd forgotten about it. And it was, I think it was in 2013. So he found the old tweets, and he was reading them out to me, and it turns out I'm friggin' hilarious, Josh.
Okay.
Because what it was...
Because self-evaluation is always the best form of comedy.
It is. So what it was I think it was at Future Deaths is the handle of Twitter. And what I would do is pretend that I would get headlines from the future.
Okay.
And I would say so-and-so died on this date in 2053 or whatever, and how they died. And so it'd be like tweets from the future, but in the present time.
Okay.
And it turns out I killed off Chris Brown several times. I think Yoko Ono died twice, of different causes at different times.
Okay.
And I do remember that I killed off Will Wheaton. Something about dying at an LA Kings playoff game, and he actually responded to it because Robin found the tweet, and he said, "Well, at least the Kings were in the playoffs." So it was like I had forgotten all about that, and then I just remembered it last night or the night before, and he found all the tweets.
Do you remember your password?
No, but I'm going to go look it up, and he says you should start it up again because he retweeted everything. He's like, wait, maybe we could get a career out of this, or make a movie, or do a podcast or a YouTube show about it. Tweets from the future, like something the space-time continuum ripped open.
Okay.
So it was just something I had forgotten about, and then He found it. It was pretty hilarious, actually, some of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I might start that up again.
Sure.
I might not, but there's a possibility that I could do that.
A tweet from the future a week's fine.
Yep, because I was really into it for a while, because there was a lot of them, so...
Sure.
Yeah, and then I just stopped. It's kind of like on when I first started the Soul Forge, I would do future shoutouts, and it would be something like, so this week we're doing episode 23, and just got news that Jonathan McGillicuddy from 2042 just found the podcast, and it really changed his life. And I just got that information, so I thought I'd let you guys know. And I did that, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15, 20 episodes. And then I stopped all of a sudden. Just like I stopped the Twitter thing.
Sure.
I guess I'm a quitter, Josh.
Well, you might be.
But you know what I haven't quit? I haven't quit the podcast.
Well, I can see that.
Because you're here, and you're recording it with me. And
but that's a yet, Sean.
Well, everything ends eventually, Josh.
Not everything.
Everything.
Not everything.
What hasn't ended yet? Or won't end? Tell me. Do you have something? Can you give me a quick example? Hurry, quick!
Yeah.
What?
Me.
What about you?
I'm not going to end.
You know?
No.
Oh, because you're going to be a robotic space swarm.
Exactly.
Right, yes. So you will never end until the inevitable heat death of the universe.
Ah, no. By then I'll have built a massive space skate, and I will travel through space into a parallel reality that's just in the early stages of that universe's forming.
Oh.
Just so as just past the heat... the initial heat of the Big Bang, so the matter begins to form, and then I can continue expanding for another few trillions of years.
You've got it all figured out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it sounds like it'll be awfully lonely.
No, I will be huge. I will be many.
Oh, you'll be everything.
Yes, I will absorb others into my consciousness. Let them play in the digital fields that is my mind.
I don't even know what to say.
I'll upload whole worlds of people into my digital consciousness. Let them roam
freely, like floating flower fuzz?
No, but create a virtual world for billions of sentients to live in. As my consuming cloud crosses universe after universe. In an endless manner, Sean.
Okay. I don't know why that's so funny. Oh, I'm losing it here on the podcast. This is awesome.
I don't see what you find funny. This is my plan, Sean.
I like it.
What's your trillion-year plan?
I don't have one.
What?
I don't have one.
So I wanted to remind you once again that you can listen to this show and other podcasts on Spotify. And now it's easier than ever. Just open the app on your mobile device or desktop, click on Browse, and then click on the podcast section. It works on your computer, your phone, your smart speaker system, whatever you want to use. So stay connected to your favorite podcasts and never miss an episode using Spotify.
Well, speaking of your vast consciousness playing in the field of the digital future, that's not a good transition, but India in space, Josh.
I thought we were going to do a different transition. I think we should cut this and do the transition you originally planned.
What was the original one?
Speaking about your vast consciousness exploring the depths of space would be a better transition.
I'm going to use that right now. Well, India in space. India is looking to take a giant leap in its space program and solidify its place among the world's spacefaring nations with its second unmanned mission to the moon. This one aimed at landing a rover near the unexplored South Pole. The Indian Space Research Organization plans to launch a spacecraft using homegrown technology on Monday, and it's scheduled to touch down on the moon September 6th or 7th. The $141 million I don't know how to say this, Chandrayaan-2 mission will analyze minerals, map the moon's surface, and search for water. It will boldly go where no country has ever gone before, the ISRO said in the statement. With India poised to become the world's fifth largest economy, the ardently nationalistic government of Prime Minister Narendra Modi is eager to show off the country's prowess in security and technology. India successfully test-fired an anti-satellite weapon in March, which Modi said demonstrated the country's capacity as a space power alongside the United States, Russia, and China. India also plans to send humans into space by 2022, becoming only the fourth nation to do so. The country's ambitions are playing out amid a resurgent space race. The U.S., which is marking the 50th anniversary this month of the Apollo 11 mission that made Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin the first humans on the moon, is working to send a manned spacecraft to the lunar South Pole by 2024. In April, an unmanned Israeli craft crashed into the moon in a failed attempt at the first privately funded lunar landing. Decades of space research have allowed India to develop satellite communications and remote sensing technologies that are helping solve everyday problems at home, from forecasting fish migration to predicting storms and floods. So what do you think about that? That's pretty awesome.
So anything that encourages space travel is fantastic in my book. So yes. And let them be jingoistic and saber rattling, and that's fine.
It's their turn.
Yeah, they need. The more a country brags about how that they're able to achieve this great thing in space exploration, when it does, makes other people go, no, you're not the only ones. We can do that too. Yeah. Which puts more research into the space program. Which, yeah, okay, it might lead to a small war, but that's okay.
Yeah, wars are fine.
That's fine. Just keep going until we can have a space war, and then that's fantastic.
Oof, can't wait for that.
Because then lots of people get experience with space, and they'll get the technology up there, because we'll have to build up our space fighters, and our space planes, and our space ships, and our space battle cruisers, because we're going to need it. Space war.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, anything that builds up interest in space. This is fantastic. It's great that they're sending probes to the moon, but come on, get your people up there.
2022, they're getting people up into space, and said NASA wants to have humans back on the moon in 2024, and we talked about that in the Artemis project there a couple weeks ago. Yep. So it's very exciting.
They need to really work on that there. Come on, guys.
So we were talking about space. We were talking about you becoming a robotic creature.
Yeah.
Remember Battlestar Galactica?
I do.
It had space and robots.
It did.
Remember who played Starbuck?
Katee Sackhoff.
Yes. Did you know that she's going to be in a new Netflix film?
Yeah.
Because I told you.
Yeah.
And we watched the trailer.
Yeah.
I'll play the trailer right here.
We interrupt this broadcast for an emergency alert. The Department of Defense is confirming reports of an unknown object entering Earth's atmosphere.
An alien artifact landed on Earth. We need to know why. And they want me to lead the mission. The trip is 6 months.
If all goes as planned,
I am coming back. I promise you.
This is the most important mission in the history of humankind. It's time.
Here we go.
We are on our way to a planet full of aliens.
I found something. How many of these things do you think are out there?
Our first contact with an alien civilization is a risk.
people will die.
We are all here for the same reason. To protect the lives of the people back on Earth.
Wait, what's that?
I am gonna get home.
What's happened here is going to happen on Earth.
Oh God, no. I have to save the crew. Save Earth.
What if by doing this, we launch into an interstellar war?
We don't have a choice.
And the article says, after years of watching her as Starbuck on Battlestar Galactica, there's just something that feels right about seeing Katee Sackhoff in a spaceship heading off to save humanity. She's done it before, and now she'll do it again, albeit in a whole new way, in Netflix's Another Life. It's an original series. Oh, original series. Maybe it's not a movie. That's dropping on July 25th. Sackhoff stars as Commander Nico Breckenridge, a.k.a. the best name ever created for anything, who heads into space when a mysterious alien artifact lands on Earth. It explores the miracle of life, how precious life is in a universe mostly empty of it, and the lengths we will go to protect the ones we love. So though this trailer gives the show kind of an Alien or Event Horizon vibe, it seems like maybe it's going to be a little more ethereal, a little more Arrival. But we'll all have to wait until July 25th. So I thought it was a movie, but it's actually a TV show by the sounds of it.
Okay. So it's a bad trailer.
It is a horrible trailer.
It is a really bad trailer. They gave this weird speech overlay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't the top quality speech. You can tell it was written to be. It's like, oh, we're going to sucker people in with this emotional speech that contextually we don't have any information about.
Correct. It tells us a whole lot of nothing.
And the shots from on board the ship, not that great of shots.
No.
Like a lot of weird hallway shots for no reason.
All kinds of hallway shots.
It looks like they couldn't decide on a hallway design. Because there's like 7 different hallway designs.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like, okay, guys, pick one.
Right?
It's fine.
Editors note the trailer you just heard is the full trailer. The one that the Rusted Robot crew reviewed was the teaser trailer.
Yeah, I'm going to have to add this to the list of series that I might ever get around to watching, such as Jessica Jones and Stranger Things Series 3 for both of those. I still haven't got around to that.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to season 3 of Stranger Things yet.
I am currently in season 3 of Hell on Wheels, and I haven't watched
Watching your train show?
Yeah, it sounds boring as heck, but it's not. It's very good. And it's got Ensign Mount and Cole Meany in it, so who doesn't want to watch Captain Pike and Chief O'Brien do stuff on trains?
Sure.
It's good. It's bingeable. I like it.
I'm glad you enjoy.
I stopped watching Lucifer. I got to get back into that too. There's too many things to watch.
Yeah, me and the wife are watching animes right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a dolphin anime that you watched years ago that you can't remember the name of.
Yes, but that's not what we're watching now, so...
No, because you can't find it.
No.
Because you can't remember what it's called.
We are watching the end of That Time I Got Reincarnated into a Slime, because Season 2 is going to be coming out soon.
Oh, yes. I remember you talking about that.
We are watching Is It Okay to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?
Is it?
Yeah, I guess.
What else are you going to do?
That one is Season 2 is coming out shortly.
Okay.
So super jazzed about that.
Mm-hmm.
Super jazzed about My Hero Academia Season 4 is coming out soon.
Already? Season 4?
Season 4.
Wow.
It's a really good show. I suggest you watch it.
Yes.
You like superhero shows, right?
I do.
And you like weird superhero, weird powers and things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll really enjoy this show.
I was visiting a friend the other day, and she had purchased for her kid a whole bunch of My Hero Academia, like bobblehead type toys, like Funko Pops. And they have a little mini dwarf hamster. And now, I want to get a hamster.
You don't want a hamster, they're jerks.
Not a big hamster, a tiny hamster. This was a Siberian Silvertail or something, I can't remember the exact name of it. So it was like half the size of a regular hamster. I'm like, huh.
You don't want a hamster, Sean.
Well, because I don't want a dog, because you have to take care of it too much. And the vet bills are high, and you have to take it outside every day, go poop and go for walks. And I walk all day as a mailman. I don't want to do that. And I don't want a cat because they pee on your house and the kitty litter stinks. And I don't want fish because that's too much work. So I'm thinking a hamster might be it.
A hamster's more work than fish, Sean.
I don't know. I don't know about that, Josh.
It's more work than fish.
I got to do some more research on it still. But it'd be like I have my pet hamster, and I would call it Beaster. My pet hamster. No? Not quite? You don't like it?
Beaster was the bad guy.
I know. But I don't remember the name of the good guy.
Monzi.
Monzi? Yeah, that's what they called him. The kids called him Monzi. That's right. That's true.
Because his name was Monster.
Yes, but he didn't have a proper name.
No, his name was Monster.
It was Monster. That's right. That was why he was my pet monster.
Yeah.
Yes. That was a good show.
It was.
I haven't seen it in like 20 years, but...
Yeah. Well, I showed it with my kids. They really enjoyed it.
Does it hold up?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible then, it's terrible now, it's fantastic.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear. You know what? Kids shows are fun, right? You like kid shows?
Some of them, yeah, sure.
And you like robots, because you want to be one.
Well, I want to be an uploaded consciousness, yes.
But you start off as a robot until you can get there.
Well, technically it'd be a cyborg first, then an uploaded consciousness into an android shell.
Okay. Well, did you know that Doctor Who's robot dog K9 is going to be the hero of a new spin-off series for children? I'll just read the article to you. The much-loved Metal Mutt, who first appeared in 1977 alongside 4th Dr. Tom Baker, will be the standalone hero in a major new project. The series will be a redesigned K9, who appears to be a bit battle-damaged, taking part in a space war. A source revealed he's going to look more industrial and be covered in rivets. And since our robot is named Rivet, that's pretty cool. K9, of course, is a play on the word canine, haha, originally created by Dave Martin and Bob Baker, and he featured in several spin-offs, including K9 and Company in 1981, He was revived for the 21st Century reboot of Doctor Who with David Tennant in 2006 and appeared in the Sarah Jane Adventures in 2007. And 2 companies are bidding for the latest spin-off, which will be produced in the UK, and unless it is picked up for broadcast by the BBC, it is unlikely that any Doctor Who references will be permitted. That's the...
You can't not put Doctor Who references into the show about K9, whose entire thing is he's the Doctor's dog.
Kind of what I was thinking, but what do I know?
So, Doctor Who spin-offs have a rough history.
Correct.
Most of them do not take off.
Yeah, because what was that one? Torchwood?
Torchwood was the one that did the best.
It did the best, but it didn't last very long.
But
Sarah Jane Adventures didn't last long.
No, nor did the Academy.
I don't even know that one.
So the Coal Hill Academy is the school that things revolve around. So in the first episode of Doctor Who, his granddaughter was going to school at the Coal Hill Academy.
Okay.
And the 2 teachers that followed her back to where the TARDIS was and went inside the TARDIS were the original companions. Okay, so there was the male teacher, the female teacher, and the granddaughter, and they would travel through time with the Doctor. That's the Coal Hill Academy.
Okay.
Then when it goes back, they could stop at the Coal Hill Academy several times, and then when Oswin starts teaching, that's also at the Coal Hill Academy. And then after Oswin, there's a whole series of events, and then under, I can't remember his name, the last Doctor, not the current Doctor, the last one.
Capaldi?
Under Capaldi, the Coal Hill Academy had its own spin-off where aliens were on the thing, but they turned out to be good aliens, and then they this like little team on the school property fighting aliens. It's kind of weird, and yeah.
Okay.
It didn't do well.
Well, we'll have to see how this K9 series comes along. It's for kids, but it might be good. You never know.
If you can't mention Doctor Who, there's no point in it.
Well, you don't, not kinda. It could just be a standalone TV show about a dog trying to save the world, kind of like The Littlest Hobo.
Yeah, but, okay, so K9 is the Doctor's dog. Mm-hmm. Who's going to be fighting? What aliens is going to fight? Right?
I don't know.
You need something that's recognizable to the Doctor Who community. So, you need the Daleks. You need...
So it'd kind of be like an Enterprise spin-off with Porthos the dog, but not on the Enterprise and nothing to do with Captain Archer.
Or mentioning any of the alien races, or mentioning any of the Star Trek lore. It's just a dog in a spaceship, a generic, non-related spaceship to anything that we know.
Yes.
Can't mention warp fields even.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Exactly. You need it to be set in the universe.
Yeah.
It may not have to directly interact with, but it's got to be set in the universe. And you can pull up new aliens, but you need to throw in some of the references. Not even in every episode.
Well, no, just randomly.
And like, you don't even need to ever have the
any Doctor,
the Doctor or the Daleks or the Cybermen or the Weeping Angels, the Vashta Narada, or any of that stuff. But if you got to be able to mention it.
I agree.
To go, yes, this is the same universe. This is the same K9. It's just not another robot dog that we stole the name from K9 for.
So we'll have to see. But it sounds like it's not even in production yet, and 2 companies are bidding on it, so we won't see that for a year or 3.
Yeah, well, hopefully they don't screw it up. They're going to, but hopefully they don't.
You know what they usually screw up?
Many things.
Movies based on games.
Oh, quite often, yes.
Well, I got some news about that for you, too.
Sure, let's go.
Okay, Mortal Kombat fans everywhere can rejoice as the movie reboot's screenwriter confirms the new film will be rated R and include fatalities. First, launching in 1992, the Mortal Kombat video game series has been a popular one for almost 3 decades now, give or take a few down periods. Every time people start to think Mortal Kombat is losing its edge, the franchise manages to rebound and win the hearts and minds of fighting game fans all over again. However, attempts to translate Mortal Kombat to the silver screen haven't been so fortunate. While 1995's first Mortal Kombat movie was a box office hit, critics hated it, and video game purists were disappointed in the film being rated PG. Whereas the games made their name initially for being bloody, gory, and featuring extremely graphic, fatality-finishing moves, the movie was very limited in what it could show and became a mostly bloodless affair. And then, of course, Mortal Kombat Annihilation was even worse. And now, of course, they are...
The TV show was even worse.
Was there a TV show?
Oh, there was a terrible TV show.
So, Greg Russo said in a tweet, since it's already been slated by other stated by other members of the team, I'm going to put this one to bed. MK will be R-rated, and for the first time ever, Fatalities will finally be on the big screen. And no, I'm not going to say which ones. You'll just have to wait for the movie and see. So, as Russo alludes, other past statements by those involved with the new Mortal Kombat movie have suggested that it would be R-rated, but that doesn't make it any less comforting to see it stated unequivocally. Also, longtime fans have reason to spend their time until 2021 trying to guess or just hopefully imagining what specific fatalities will make their way into the reboot. So, I guess we're getting the film in 2021, and it'll be bloody and violent, and that'll be good.
Cool.
You like Mortal Kombat? You played that game?
I played the game. I also watched the movies. I liked the first movie. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't even know if I watched all of the second one. Maybe I did. I know it wasn't good.
Yeah, no, it wasn't good.
I liked the first one, even though it wasn't too bloody or violent. It had a good story. Ish. For 1995.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good video game movie, but it wasn't a bad video game movie.
That's right. It was pretty... It was decent for what it was.
Exactly.
Yeah. For a 19-year-old kid
it
watching...
It was no Super Mario Brothers.
No, it wasn't. No, definitely not. So it looks like, according to my list of things we need to talk about this week on Rusted Robot Podcast, there's nothing left. We talked about Con Air Day, we talked about Think Geek, Area 51, Midnight Express, Celebrity Deaths, Picard and David Mack, the Katee Sackhoff film, India in Space, the Mortal Kombat movie, the K9 Show, other random things and tidbits that we put in there, like Soulforge Podcast. Hey, pardon the interruption, but do you want to learn more about love, lust, sex, anger, happiness, music, time, space, and the human race? I hope you do, because I'm here to beg you to listen to Soulforge Podcast. We're your weekly dose of life and living here on the ESO Network. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts, and soulforgepodcast.com. A proud partner of the Rusted Robot Podcast here on the ESO Network. Let's find out together. And what's that comic book store that your wife works at?
Chum City Comics.
Yeah, that one?
38 Pine Street, North Timmins, Ontario, Canada, Unit 106.
Yeah. Yeah, we even played other promos for the podcasts that belong here on the ESO Network. So I think we got it all in there.
Sure.
Is there anything else you'd like to finish up with?
Not on this one, no.
No?
No.
Okay. Do you have an and remember for us, or shall I just pick one from my list of memes? How about this one?
Sure.
Okay. TheRustedRobot.podbean.com for all our social media links. At Darth Vaderloo for the Instagram account. You're not anywhere, are you, Josh?
I am nowhere. I am everywhere. I am the Shadow.
And the Shadow knows. Okay. Well, thanks for being part of episode 251. And until next time, remember, as John Lennon said, it's weird not to be weird. You have been listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. To contact the show, email therustedrobot@gmail.com or tweet us at therustedrobot. Join the Facebook page and group and visit the website at therustedrobot.podbean.com. The Rusted Robot Podcast was put together by Sean and Josh and the Rusty crew. Please remember to check out our other show, the Soulforge Podcast. Visit Jump City Comics in the 101 Mall and leave a glowing review in your chosen podcast app. Thank you, and have a geeky day.
The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
He's just having lots of fun in his own monster way. He loves to munch on garbage. He'll even eat the can. If this sounds gross, please understand. He's my best friend. My pet monster. My very, very bestest friend. My pet monster. A monster of a friend. A monster.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
This transmission ends.